Everything that is explained in this video is summarized from CoinMarketCap. And also, please don't forget to support my channel for more XRP updates and some other cryptocurrencies as a whole. Now take a look at this. Judge Torres is expected to dismiss SEC $2 billion fine. In the most recent development, an attorney for XRP has disclosed the reasons why Judge Torres is anticipated to reject the $2 billion fine that the SEC has imposed against Ripple. This new event is incredibly encouraging for XRP, and it indicates that a strong bullish trend is developing. What does it signify to you? Let's find out for sure. Advocates for XRP lawyers have taken a shot at the sex week arguments. James Murphy, a pro-XRP attorney who goes by the name Meta Lawman, thinks that Judge Torres might decide against the SEC's planned $2 billion fine against Ripple. This would be a big victory for XRP, which would indicate a bullish trend. Murphy cast doubt on the SEC's claim that institutional investors were harmed financially, so calling into question the legitimacy of their demand for disgorgement. According to the Securities and Exchange Commission, institutional investors who paid a smaller discount for XRP were subjected to an inflated price, which created a financial loss for them. Murphy, on the other hand, is skeptical about the interpretation of the circumstances in the case, and he suggests that the statement published by the Second Circuit and CBB, Govil was misunderstood. A status update on the harm caused by Ripple. Regarding the contention that there are no victims and no disgorgement, the reply brief from the SEC does not provide anything of significance. The Securities and Exchange Commission that was made by a district court that determined the pecuniary harm as a result of the judge's decision to label the case, which indicates that it has limited jurisdiction. Meta Lawman is skeptical that the SEC versus Fresh case may serve as a precedent for financial liability. Judge Torres may dismiss the motion submitted by the SEC due to the lack of sufficient grounds, as stated by Murphy. In response, attorney Jeremy Hogan emphasized the significance of obtaining authorization from the appellate court before referencing cases of this nature, expressing the hope that the judge will acknowledge this oversight. What the SEC thinks about disgorgement, the Securities and Exchange Commissions justified the disgorgement by citing Ripple's alleged violations of securities law, which were primarily associated with the sale of unregistered XRP tokens. As a result of Ripple's intention to issue additional unregistered crypto assets under its new organizational structure, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, asserts that an injunction is required to prevent future violations. The most recent information regarding Ripple's conflict with the SEC and its effect on prices, an influential cryptocurrency website known as Crypto Geek suggests that the XRP case may be drawing to a close. This is because a possible settlement with Ripple may take place shortly, and the judge is expected to release the final brief by the 20th of May. Additionally, the XRP ledger HOLS is well positioned to manage a substantial trade volume of $1 trillion in the realm of decentralized finance, DAFI, with the CTF token being the only XRP ledger DeFi token that is ranked among the top 10. The CTF token has the potential to see a significant increase, potentially jumping from 87 cents without much difficulty. This is even though it only accounts for a minimal portion of XRP's market share. Ripple Labs and the Securities and Exchange Commission are engaged in a legal dispute surrounding XRP, and the situation is becoming increasingly heated. About Ripple, the Securities and Exchange Commission is requesting a fine of $2 billion. However, the most current film suggests that the judge is more likely to disagree with the request. The SEC's argument is based on a weak precedent. Arguments presented by the SEC are being criticized by legal experts. As for James Murphy, the attorney who is representing Ripple, he asserts that the Securities and Exchange Commission uses a court decision that is not particularly strong to support the argument that investors have been injured. The Securities and Exchange Commission asserts that Ripple artificially raised the price of XRP, which was detrimental to investors who did not obtain the discounts that were anticipated. A status update on the harm caused by Ripple. Regarding the contention that there are no victims and no disgorgement, the reply brief from the SEC does not provide anything of significance. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, relies on a decision that was made by a district court, the SEC, that determined the pecuniary harm criteria met when a stock price was. When it comes to making decisions on the launch of coins, the Securities and Exchange Commission does not maintain any level of transparency, as stated of Jeremy, an attorney. Issues that have been brought up have given rise to questions regarding the SEC's case against Ripple, based on the poor foundation and the absence of sufficient proof of the SEC's allegations, Judge Torres is more likely to reject the fine that the SEC has imposed against Ripple. According to a recent court filing, the Securities and Exchange Commission is putting up a fight against Ripple's assertion that it ought to pay a lower amount of fines. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SOC, has stated that Ripple should pay fines nearing $2 billion for selling XRP to institutional investors. As stated in the opposing motion that Ripple submitted a month ago, the company contended that the amount ought to be closer to $10 million. The Securities and Exchange Commission, in a filing that was published on Tuesday, stated that although its proposed penalty was substantial, Ripple's suggested punishment would be a slap on the wrist. To the contrary, it would encourage other crypto asset issuers to violate Section 5 by making it a remarkably lucrative endeavor and thus deprive investors of the disclosures Congress mandates as a mere cost of doing business. According to the SEC's legal representatives, as the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SHU has submitted its final brief in the appellate procedure. The legal battle that has been going on between Ripple Labs and the SEC is getting closer and closer to its end. Both parties are remaining steadfast in their stances, which indicates that a decision is likely to be reached within the next few months. The SEC holds fast to its position. The Securities and Exchange Commission rejected Ripple's position that the business had behaved in good faith and that there should be no uncertainty regarding the regulatory status of XRP in its final brief that was filed during the appellate phase of the trial. The regulatory body drove home the point that the court had already rejected Ripple's defense because it was based on fair notice. If the appropriate authorities have not properly notified the party in question of the regulatory standards that are in place, then this defense argues that the party cannot be held accountable for a breach of the agreement. The American Securities and Exchange Commission has reaffirmed its conviction that Ripple may once again breach securities laws in the future. This is even though the cryptocurrency company has not committed any infractions since the case was initiated in the year 2020. The appellate brief states that Ripple made an effort to minimize its liability by emphasizing the fact that it has been working closely with the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, ever since the initial coin offering XRP in 2013. The SEC, on the other hand, makes the point that, according to the law, even if Ripple has not committed any infractions since the year 2020, there's still a possibility that they will occur again. At the end of the day, the Securities and Exchange Commission contends that Ripple's assertions do not obviate the requirement for injunctions to prevent future violations. The information that has been provided is not intended to be trading advice. There is no responsibility for any investments that are made based on the information that is provided on this page. Before making any decision about investments, we strongly advise conducting independent research and consulting with a knowledgeable professional.